perspective. He says that each Gopa was thinking that Krishna is only looking at him. See, that's what I said. Krishna has that power, hundreds and thousands of cowherd boys, but he is completely fulfilling the desires of each Gopabalaka. The affection that the Gopapalakas had in their heart, Krishna was able to reciprocate in the same way. In our Kali Yuga or even in material world, you will have a desire, but how much that desire is fulfilled either by your children or your spouses, it is very difficult. Sometimes they will know. Sometimes you're shocked. How did they know that desire that you had? But not all the time, right? And to the depth of affection that Krishna can show, nobody else can show. And that is what Kaviraj Goswami is telling us. Srila Prabhupada, in this regard, he says this is the Krishna consciousness. When Krishna is in the center of all our interrelationships, then life becomes very beautiful and blissful. So it is a very good lesson that Prabhupada is giving us, that we have to put Krishna in the center. All of us, your entire family are like Gopabalakas. All of you sit around Krishna. Then you'll all be fulfilled. You'll all feel satisfaction. But if you try to leave Krishna and try to enjoy, you will not feel that satisfaction. See, Prabhupada, wherever it is, wherever he has a chance, he is trying to teach us how we can bring this tattva into our life. Krishna is easily sought by his devotees. How is he sought easily by his devotees? The Brahmanas are chanting so many mantras and performing so many rituals, all simply to please Krishna. Here, it is the Supreme Personality of Godhead playing and laughing on the banks of Yamuna with simple little 5-year-old boys, taking food right out of their mouth and eating it himself. Brahma was shocked. Brahma was shocked for two reasons. One is how Krishna killed Agasura, and two is how the same person who killed Agasura is eating the food of his devotees as a cowherd boy, laughing and joking. See, it is why did the bewilderment for Brahma start? It is two reasons. He never expected that cowherd boy to be the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So he was shocked how that small 5-year-old boy was able to kill the Agasura demon. It's a big demon. How a cowherd boy doesn't have so much of strength, how did he kill? He was thinking. And the second thing is, see, it is very simply given, right? The mantras are being chanted. So many tapasvis are doing tapas. So many brahmanas are chanting the mantras. So many of them are performing yagnas, but Krishna does not manifest for them. He is not so interested. He gives them, he reciprocates with them. But to his devotees, he is able to become a child also for them. In this case, he became a child and he is coming and playing with the Gopapalakas. What austerities these Gopapalakas must have performed, isn't it? In previous Janma. And there is a shloka actually which talks about it, which says, whatever yagna you do, whatever tapas you do, whatever mantra you chant, Krishna doesn't get, reciprocate so easily to these jnanis. But when the cow in Braja says Amba, he is able to reciprocate. He will go running to the cow and say, what happened to you? What is it? What do you want? He says, right? That is a mercy of the Lord towards his devotees, because why? The devotees do not need anything. They don't need anything from Krishna. The yagnas being performed are for some fruitive activities. The performance of chanting sometimes is to get liberation, right? And the tapasya that people do is for some kind of a benediction. But here, the devotees of the Lord, they don't need anything. They just need Krishna only. They need only Krishna. And that's why Krishna manifests for them and not for all of us, right? Lord Brahma. So there are two reasons. Remember that reason, how the small boy was able to kill. Immediately after he killed, this Leela happens. Okay. Immediately after Agasura's Leela, Brahma Vimohan Leela happens. And that's why Agasura's Leela, they were not able to go and tell. They told after 1 year. Why? Because the next day they were performing Brahma Vimohan Leela and something happened to the children, for which they took 1 year to go back and tell their parents about how Krishna took care of Agasura. Lord Brahma steals calves and the cowherd boys. So now he's really puzzled because the food that Krishna is eating, right? He's taking it out of the mouth of the Gopabalakas and eating. And sometimes even the Gopabalakas, they bite something, a fruit or something, it is very tasty. They will say, Krishna, eat. How much, purification we do before offering boga to Krishna. Isn't it? It is a supreme personality of Godhead. That doesn't mean we do chuta, we bite and give it to Krishna. No, we can't do that. Right? We have to follow because we are still not in that mood. Shabari, she was able to give the bitten gooseberries to Krishna, isn't it? We can't do that. That is a devotee, that level is different. So Brahma wanted to test this cowherd boy. So what does he do? He actually steals the cow's calves first. So what happens is Brahma decides to steal the calf and the children are still sitting and eating. Okay. Meanwhile, Krishna was just laughing and making jokes with the devotees. One joke he started to speak with Bumblebee. Oh, Bumblebee, you have come to kill my Brahmana friend Madhumangal, but I will not allow you to do so. When he said that, the Gopas were just uproarious with laughter. So Lord Brahma, he was bewildered. So Krishna is exchanging such good pastimes with his devotee Gopapalakas. He is saying, one bumblebee comes and he starts scolding the bumblebee. You dare not touch any of my friends or bite my friends. I'm going to take care of you if you do anything like that. Okay. And he's saying, have you come to kill my Brahmana friend? In the Gopabalakas, there was one Brahmana friend that was Madhumangal. So Krishna is just joking, and all the other kids start laughing. And then now Brahma says, I have to test him. So what he does is the calves are a little far off from where they are sitting, and Brahma goes and captures all the calves. He steals all the calves. And then the boys are bewildered because they are eating and they are trying to find where the calves are. The calves are all gone. So Krishna, who was sitting and eating with them, he says, you don't get up. I will go and check. In one hand, he has the curd rice. He takes the curd rice. In the left hand, he was eating curd rice. Right? He will take that rice also and he will walk. And in Bhagavatam, there is a beautiful explanation for that. That curd rice is called bhakta or bhaktar, okay? So what is it? It in another meaning in Sanskrit, that means the devotees. So Krishna is actually in distress because he has to go and find the calves. Even when Krishna is distressed, he will not let go of the devotees. That is a significance. Why that is mentioned that the curd rice he holds and he goes searching is because it is another meaning for that is devotees, and Krishna never lets go of his devotees even when there is apat or sankat in his life or distress in his life. That is the significance. And Krishna goes searching and he returns and he says, Array, I can't find the calves, he says. The reason Lord Brahma stole them. Krishna understood this. He was standing and looking for his children friends with yogurt, rice, and fruit mixture in his hand, and he came back. No one was around. The sun was soon to set. So, what happened is when he went to search for the calves, it was not there. He realized immediately it is Brahma's work because Krishna is omniscient, all right? He knows what who is doing, what who is thinking also. So he immediately knew that Brahma had taken all the camps. When he came back, he saw that the Gopabalakas are also gone. Then he says, oh, the Gopabalakas are also gone and the sun is already setting. Now he thinks what to do because when he goes back alone to the village, the Brajavasis will feel very distressed seeing that their children did not come back, and the cows of Braja will feel somewhat because the calves did not come back. So what does Krishna do? He expands himself to as many Gopabalakas and as many calves they were. He expands himself. He expands himself and he go and it is given in Bhagavatam that the way he expands is he has the same mood as each Gopabalaka. He knows them so well that he laughs like them. He will make jokes, his attitude, his anger, his speech, everything is like each of those individualized Gopabalakas. It's very difficult. If you have to act right, you have to know the scene, you have to know the character, you have to know everything. But Krishna here knows the Gopabalakas so well that he knows how they smile, how they enact, how they get angry, what they like, what they don't like. Not only the Gopabalakas, including the calves. He knows how they behave with their parents, with others, and everything. So, when he went back, when he expanded himself as a calves and the Gopabalakas, nobody suspected because they saw their child only. The attitude, the form, the smile, everything was like their child only. So none of them suspected that this is somebody else, right? That is what happened. Krishna in his Chintamani Dham Vrindavan fulfilled everyone's desires for 1 full year. And why did Krishna perform this, right? It is a very beautiful Leela because Krishna satisfied many people with that. Why? Because when he went back, every mother felt as if their child is the best. Usually, when Krishna and the Gopabalakas go home, all the mothers of Vrindavan are busy looking at Krishna. They are all thinking, can't Krishna become my child for 1 day? Yashoda Mai comes and takes away Krishna, they'll all feel some kind of a distress. They all want Krishna as their child. The cows want Krishna as their calf. They also keep thinking like that. But today, when Krishna went back, right, all the mothers looked at their own child, who's an expansion of Krishna. They hugged their child. They were in so much love that they didn't even look at Krishna, it says. Usually they are waiting for Krishna to look and they are always looking at Krishna. But today, when they saw their own child, they did not look at Krishna. They just hugged their child and went away. That is because it was an expansion of Krishna only. And the cows also. They were so happy with their calves that they forgot to look at Krishna. They did not stare at Krishna eternally. Today, they were all very happy with their own children because it was the expansion of the Lord. That's why Krishna in the Chintamani Dham, Prabhupada writes that he was able to satisfy the desires of all the Brajavasis for 1 year, right? Why 1 year? Because by then, by the time it is 1 year, here in Bhuloka, in Brahmaloka, it was just 1 second, right? It was 1 second. How was it 1 second? What Brahma had done on the other side is he had taken those children and he had put them into Yoga Nidra. He had put them in the clouds and he had put them in the Yoga Nidra. In the Brahma Loka, he had put them into Yoga Nidra. And when he saw these mothers and these calves and this cow, everybody interacting, he suddenly got a doubt. I picked them up and I put them to Yoga Nidra. How come they are here? He just put, he winked his eyes to look back on the other side where he had put them to Yoga Nidra. By then, 1 year had passed in Bhuloka, right? And you can see in the picture how happy each of the mother is. Although Krishna is standing there, nobody is looking at Krishna. They're all happy with their own, children, with their own calves and everything, right? About 5 or 6 days before the end of the year, Krishna and Balaram were herding the cows, and Krishna and Balaram saw that the older cowherd men, they have some cows on the top of the Govardhan hill, and the calves happened to see their little calves, but the calves were Krishna. The cows were just could not separation. They just started galloping down. So what happens is it's almost 1 year, 5 days less to 1 year, when Krishna and Balaram are in the forest, in the Braja forest. The elder Gopabalakas, who are cowherd boys now, right? There are Gopabalakas take care of only calves, and the cowherd men take care of the cows. The cowherd men are with their cows on top of Govardhan hill. And Krishna, Balaram, and with all the other Gopabalakas who are expansion of Krishna, they are in the lower side of the Govardhan hill. They are at the bottom, the foot of the Govardhan hill. And they are with their friends and the calves. The mothers on the top, the cow mothers on the top, could not bear that separation. They came down the hill galloping to come and be with their children calves, and Balram gets it out. Usually, if it is their own calf, also many times he's seen that the cows don't worry so much. But today, why are they coming with such speed to be with the calves? That is the love between a devotee and Krishna. It is like a magnet. It is a great attraction between the devotee of the Lord and the Lord Himself. They can't stay even 1 second away from the Lord, right? That is the attraction. And then Balaramji comes to know, because the day when the Brahma Vimohan Leela, or the calves were stolen and the Gopapalakas were stolen, Balaramji did not come that day. So he did not know what happened. Now, as soon as he looked at the interaction between the cow and the calves, he immediately suspected that it is all expansion of Krishna only, right? And then Lord Brahma got bewildered. Meanwhile, Lord Brahma, he had taken the boys. That's what I said. He was looking and he was thinking he had put them in the cave, it says. He had put them in the cave and he was shocked again. First time he was shocked to see how this cowherd boy is able to do such, pastimes. And now he's shocked. How come I stole them? Still they are there like that only. And that is when he blinks his eyes to go back to the cave and look at the cave. By then, 1 year has passed. And he immediately realizes what has happened, right? He immediately realizes to what has happened. And then Krishna shows the form. When Krishna manifests, at that moment, Lord Brahma saw each and every cap and each and every Gopa transformed into the four-armed form of Vishnu, holding the conch shell, disc, and club. Krishna shows him the reality that although others are seeing the Gopabalakas, the others are seeing the calves, it is the Vishnu form who has expanded in all those calves, all those. And this is the only time where the Kaustubha Mani is seen many times, because Vishnu, all Vishnu forms will be wearing that Kaustubha Mani. So he could see millions. How many were Gopabalakas were there? How many were calves were there? All of them transform into Vishnu Murti. And he realizes what mistake he's done, right? He's done a grave mistake. Then the Lord Krishna changed the whole scene, and all that was left was himself standing alone with a lump of yogurt, fruit, and rice, very innocently searching for his calf. Then immediately, Brahma realizes what he had done. And he saw the beauty of Vrindavan. He was struck with wonder. He saw the Kalpavanaka trees. He saw how Vrindavan is a place where there is no hunger, there is no thirst, there is no trace of animosity, even amongst animals and humans who are. Gina Mataji, please can you mute yourself? By nature should be very envious of each other, because in Vrindavan everyone is living simply for the pleasure of Krishna. Srila Prabhupada explains, when there is no desire for sense gratification, there is no envy, and then all can be united in pleasing Krishna, and that is the only condition where we can really be happy. And Srila Prabhupada explains that that is the meaning of Vrindavan. No desire for personal enjoyment, completely unite for one purpose, to Krishna, to please Krishna, to glorify Krishna, to loudly chant the holy names Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada gives a very beautiful personal realization. Brahma saw the unlimited powers of Krishna and how the source of all that power was his sweet form as a little cowherd boy playing and laughing with his friends. Krishna's powers are like an unlimited ocean. We should not try to measure that ocean. We should simply surrender to Krishna. This is such a beautiful realization by Srila Prabhupada. It is very true. See, why we are not happy in this world is we are trying to satisfy our senses. If we try to serve other people and they become great, we become envious of such people. So there is a lot of envy, hatred, and sense gratification, and that's why we cannot be happy here. But when we put Krishna in the center and we satisfy Krishna and Krishna becomes happy, we won't be envious of that. All of us will be in the same level of thinking of there's only one goal, one alignment, right? All of us are doing everything to serve Krishna. But if people are, today's world, people are trying to serve themselves and their family. When you see that, you become envious because you're not getting what they have. But when you put Krishna in the center, if all of us are serving Krishna, you will not be so envious. And that is the secret to happiness. Serving Krishna is a secret to happiness. Then what did Brahma do? Brahma actually comes and prays to the Lord. Brahma on his swan, he comes. Swan is his carrier. He comes, the four-headed Brahma comes, and he actually is standing in front of Krishna. See, so nicely he's praying. He's asking with great humility. He prays to the Lord and he asks forgiveness. In this picture, you see Krishna looking at Brahmaji. In reality, it is said Krishna did not even acknowledge. Krishna didn't even look. Why? Because Krishna was not very happy. When Krishna is separated from his devotees, he is not happy. It was very hard for Krishna to forgive Brahma. He was able to forgive Indra when he did the Govardhan pastime, when Indra tried to kill all the Vrajavasis. But here he is not happy. What is the difference? When Indra tried to kill the Vrajavasis, he brought them all together 7 days and 7 nights. Krishna got to spend time with all his devotees and exchange beautiful pastimes. But here, Krishna is taken away, or the devotees are taken away from Krishna. According to Krishna, this is a bigger sin compared to Indra trying to kill the Brajavasis, right? And Brahma finally offers his obeisances, and Krishna does not even say a word. Just like a simple cowherd boy, just he looks around. Brahma received the permission and he went back to his abode. And then he says, "It's okay." It's as if saying, "It's okay, it's okay," you know. But Krishna did not completely, was not able to forgive. Right? I mean, he usually forgives. Krishna is very merciful, but he took it to heart this time because his devotees were separated from him. Srila Prabhupada quotes that one great Vaishnava who brought out the spirit of Brahma's prayers, he said, "Let others worship the Vedas, Puranas, Mahabharata in fear of material existence. But as for myself, I will worship that Nanda Maharaj in huge courtyard. Krishna, the supreme absolute truth, is crawling around like a helpless little baby." His voice was faltering, his limbs and were trembling. He offered beautiful prayers of surrender to Krishna. See, this is a very beautiful thing that Prabhupada writes. See, many yogis and gnanis are all offering prayers in fear that they will have distress in their life or in fear of death. But here I am offering a prayer to see that beautiful form, the beautiful crawling Krishna. I want to see that beautiful crawling Krishna. I don't want any other material benediction or even liberation, but I want to see Krishna. That should be our mood in which we offer the prayers. And that's why what happened is when the children today went back after asking a sorry, he gives back all the children and he gives back all the castes, and all the different forms of Krishna which had expanded become one. It becomes one. They all enter into Krishna and Krishna becomes the whole. And then they actually go back home and they actually tell their parents about Agasura as if it happened yesterday, but it was already 1 year had passed. Sanatan Goswami explains that Brahma actually had no power to steal the gopas and the calves because they are Krishna's personal devotees. Just like Ravana stole Mother Sita, similarly Brahma had stolen the Maya calves and Maya cowherd boys. The original ones remained just right there on the banks of Yamuna. They just continued their feast as if they were but by Krishna's divine potency, nobody could see them. And for them, although time went on for a whole rest of Braja, Bhumi, for them time was concentrated. And after Brahma got back on his swan and returned to Brahmaloka 1 year later, Krishna was still holding the same piece of yogurt in his hand. And he came back to the place, and all the boys were all the whole time, and they saw Krishna come back and said, "Gopala, Gopala, how is it possible? You brought all the calves so soon." It's not even a half a moment since you left. In fact, we have not even taken a single morsel of food since you have left. How could you come back and find them so quickly? Come with us and enjoy. Krishna sat with the friends again and they enjoyed with their lunch prasadam. The only difference is the only difference is the children, their bodies grew 1 year, but they didn't take note of it because it seemed like half a moment for them. So the Gopas all congratulated Krishna and they all ate together and returned home. As they were returning home, Krishna showed them the totally dried up body of Agasura and they were thinking, just a few hours ago he was killed and how quickly he dried up. And when they came back home into Vrindavan village, all the Gopas were crying out, today Krishna killed the big gigantic serpent who devoured all of us. You should have seen it. All the Brajavasis were chanting the glories of the Lord Gopala. And then the Pogada Leela took place, and soon after, Krishna and Balaram were given the charge of the cows. This is very interesting. I had also forgotten this piece that Sanatan Goswami writes that even though Brahma stole the calves and the Gopabalakas, he actually did not steal the original one. It was like Maya Sita. They were Maya calves and Maya cowherd boys. This is Sanatan Goswami's explanation because the time passed for the rest of the world, but the time with Krishna for the Gopabalakas became Krishna is above time. We know that, right? Time comes under Krishna. When Krishna wants daylight, it'll be daylight in Vraja. When Krishna wants night, it'll be night. So the time is under the control of Krishna. It's not like in our loka where like a clockwork it goes on, right? Everything falls under time here, but time itself falls under Krishna in Goloka. So what he did was where the Gopapalakas, the calves, and Krishna were, he paused the time for them. But the rest of the world, 1 year had happened. That is what Sanatan Goswami says, because Krishna always protects his devotees no matter what. Okay, I think we can stop at that. This we've already seen how when the Gopavalakas returned, right? Everybody were again looking at Krishna again today instead of